He lived fine in prison, parole approved like a vacation passport. He's been here 50 years. He was used to everything here, didn't want to leave, so he chose this way to stay. The man tried to reason with him. Finally, he laid down the knife and faced reality. Others were baffled who'd want to stay in prison forever. For them, they were itching to get out, while Red said that here, he could find a sense of belonging. In Shawshank, he was a big deal, a real celebrity. Once outside, he was nothing but a feeble old man teetering on the brink of life, and no one would care a bit about his identity. And very soon all blue was going to be set free. He freed the crow he raised, granting it freedom, symbolizing his own liberation. The gods here revered him. They shook hands goodbye. Walking the crowded streets, all blue looked lost, had been disconnected from society too long. The outside world felt as alien as outer space to him. 50 years ago, he had seen just one car. He had seen just one car, that same one from 50 years ago. But now, cars were everywhere, and the prison had even set him up with a temporary place to stay. He even had a gig as a grocery packer, but being old, he moved slow and often messed up. When faced with complaints, the manager was blunt, ignoring his age. Outside, he had no friends. It went on like this until, at night, he dreamt of waking up back in his Shawshank cell. That's the sole place he felt traces of life. He even considered robbing to return to prison, but was too old for the hustle. After a lot of thought, he made a bold decision. He carved his name with a knife and chose to hang himself to put an end to his tragic life. When his prison buddies got the news, they were all heartbroken, especially Red, who had been there for nearly 30 years. Each time he applied for parole, he sincerely said he'd reformed and wouldn't harm society, yet was denied. Subtitles: The prison one day got a stack of books and a $200 grant, mailed Monday. The warden urged the man to stop writing. Seeing his 6 years of effort finally pay off, he decided to write 2 letters a week from now on. To celebrate, he sneaked a record on while the guard was in the loo. He then locked the door and turned on the prison radio. Suddenly, all the inmates could hear it, and they were puzzled but tuned in to listen. Subtitles: Previously, the radio only had God's non-stop lectures. This time, music played. When the warden arrived, the man lounged comfortably in a chair, enjoying music. Then inmates felt alive, listening to melodies peacefully. When warned by the warden, he ignored it and turned the volume up several times. Bold move. The next second, the captain forced the door open and was confined for 2 weeks. Luckily, he'd helped the prison a lot. Other prisoners might have been shot on the spot for that. Finally, one day in 1959, his hard work paid. He knew 200 yuan wouldn't deter him, so he agreed to a 500 yuan annual grant as a reward. The space soon expanded, providing a reading area for all. Kind times lay out you cutie grov y cute let's if we see a out at I circumflex g sedilla not sign degree cyrillic letter 4 ab so I worthy at times whole plus or minus e circumflex small cap turned all pan it's I stroke 3 out I stroke dead cute a out cyrillic letter 4 we free it co handles it roo. They all came with cash, hoping to borrow the inmates for work, while our main guy became his money laundering tool, washing the dirty cash completely. Then he stashed the cash into different bank accounts. But smart as he was, he thought of a trick. He created a fake person using a legal loophole. All those accounts were in his name, and whenever he wanted, he could turn the fake person into himself and take all the money. In 1965, a new group of inmates came, including Tommy, famous for burglary. This wasn't his first time in jail, so he fit right in, including with our main guy. He even asked Tommy to help him get a high school diploma so he could find a job when he got out. This was when Tommy would uncover the truth behind the banker's wife murder. One day while chatting with Red, he casually asked how the man ended up in prison. Suddenly, he remembered 4 years ago in another prison when a new roommate, a break-in expert, bragged about his deeds. The latest one was about a golf coach. He broke into the guy's house and caught him getting cozy with a woman. In a fit of rage, he killed them both. Later, he found out the woman had a husband, who just so happened to be a big banker, and that banker was the guy sitting right in front of him. The truth turned out to be that, and he was truly wronged. He immediately sought the warden to help him appeal. But unexpectedly, the warden, desiring to hold on to his profitable pathway to wealth, alleged that it was merely Thomas' lie to curry favor with his girlfriend. This riled up the warden, who immediately had the man thrown out and put in solitary for a month. Then he called Tommy in next. Subtitles: He began to be extremely polite to Tommy, personally handing him a cigarette, just to inquire whether the man's case was truly as he had described. Hearing this, the warden relaxed. After snuffing out the cigarette butt, he signaled the captain. The result was obvious: Tommy was ruthlessly killed. The reason was that he resisted after being caught trying to escape, forcing guards to execute him. Then, the warden found the man in solitary, hoping he would go back to work. When he refused, he resorted to threats, like burning the library so nobody could read, or locking him up with the next guy who really didn't like his kind. With no way out, he had to give in, but he was hatching a wild idea. He then found Red to say goodbye. He shared his dream of going to a little town called Sihuatanijo by the Pacific, and he wanted to buy a rickety old boat and fix it up. He planned to open a restaurant and live out his days. Then, he asked Red to go to Buxton if he ever left. Subtitles: a meadow with a big locust tree at its north end, a stone wall beside it, and a black volcanic rock inside. Red was shocked, unsure why the man said such odd things. He thought he was triggered. That day, he laundered money for the warden as usual.